the state of Nevada does not have mandated education for, you know, weaving in the stories of the original peoples of the state of Nevada, as an example. In Montana, they do have some state laws that require curriculum, you know, for that, especially schools on the reservation. And so I think it's great to see that that's some of the advocacy that's happening now in Nevada, is to take these youth that are from a you know, very marginalized population, and then provide them with some knowledge and resources about their heritage, about where they're, this land that they stand on, the original origins of it, and make them really feel empowered and as a part of, you know, a part of change and progress, instead of this historical entity that used to be in the history books. We are still alive in here, right? And so that's important to share with the kids coming up, the teacher educators. Most teachers are amazing, right? And they're open to it. You know, my daughter's 7th grade class here in Las Vegas, oh my gosh, her history teacher did one of the most comprehensive units on that I almost like got emotional watching what she put forward for that little chapter of time that they spent. And I complimented her. I said, this is right up there with what I would expect a college level. Some colleges don't even do a good of a job as educating on the history of Nevada and the native peoples and the struggles, and being a harsh reality, and sharing with these kids that some of these stories are ugly. The boarding school experience was ugly. Little kids were, you know, taken away from their families forcibly. The families were, you know, sad, and this happened, and you guys should know this. And it was powerful. My uncle was taken. You have multiple people, and I don't know one native person that knows their family, or at least has contact, that doesn't know who was taken. You know, who was taken, how long they were taken for. You know, stories. There's things that my uncle wouldn't share for years. Mm-mm. And they have pictures of them, and even in then you can look them up, cutting their hair in those traditional European style, you know, or even 1950s, right, with the little white little button-up shirts, little jackets, the girls, and the little skirts. So you know, and not allowed to speak their language. My grandmother got put in a TB. She got TB when she was 14 years old. The reason why she didn't teach her children to speak Nakota was because they would beat them. They would beat them with sticks, rulers, if they got caught speaking their language in what's called a TB sanitarium, which is basically like a, you know, they loaded them up and put them in this kind of institution setting. And when they got tuberculosis, she fortunately recovered. A lot of them did not, in an effort to probably like quarantine them, right, and kind of keep the tuberculosis from spreading. And so this would have been, my grandma was born in 1932, so she was 13. So what, 1940, like late 1940s. So once again, not that long ago, right? Like, it's, people are still alive that lived in the 1940s. My grandma passed away, but she has very, very vivid memories of not being told she is not allowed to speak their language, pray in their language, sing any songs. And she didn't want her kids to go through that. So she had 10 children, and not one of them did she teach to speak. Her and my grandfathers that were also native speak the language. So the ones that do speak it had to go out and learn on their own. So yes, that was a way to kill the Indian, right? So save the man, kill the Indian.